Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Dr. Diaz, Dr. Esther, what a pleasure to have you here.
The pleasure is all ours.
I hope you're feeling well.
Very well, thank you. And you?
The same old laborers, always working.
Trying to find new ways to help patients die painlessly.
Please don't choke. But won't you come in? My husband is in there waiting for you.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm most grateful to you for having taken the trouble to come to my home this evening.
It's no trouble, Doctor.
We're delighted. Who'd complain? At having the opportunity of visiting with such a beautiful young lady as your wife, Flora.
Flatterer.
How are you, Pinkate?
Fine, Doctor.
Please sit down, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Dr. Diaz, Dr. Esther, I've taken the liberty of calling you here because I think it's time I revealed something very serious.
Let's hear it, then.
It's about the Aztec breastplate and the bracelet, gentlemen.
How's that? Why, the whole thing was forgotten long ago. It's a closed book, Doctor.
And that's exactly what I thought, too. But things have happened lately that I think you two should know about. My friends, be patient and allow me to tell you a story. Although you already know part of the history, there are some things that you ignore. I think the best thing to do is to begin at the beginning. You both recall, do you not, that occasion years ago, 5 to be exact, when we held a convention on psychiatry in this city. I attended and gave a talk on the results of my studies related to the regression of a patient to a past life through the use of hypnosis. My theory was greeted with amazement and incredulity by the members of the convention. Among others attending that day were you, Dr. Esther, and you, Dr. Diaz. You both had come with Dr. Krupp, and my theory was made the subject of ridicule, and I left the convention bitter and defeated. I got to the house feeling unsure of these ideas. I'd been squelched, but I just couldn't accept the other opinions of my theories. I was sure they could be proven. That night, Flora offered to undergo a hypnotic test. She was fully aware of the danger of the experiment. Assisted by her father and by Pinkate, I hypnotized her. During her past life, Flora had lived among the great peoples of the Aztec. She told us such strange things, amazing things. Far back in those ancient years, her name had been Xochi. She was deeply in love with a brave and high-born warrior called Popoca. Their love was so strong that it would not answer to reason. So they decided to run away, even though it was her sacred duty to preserve her maidenhood and be sacrificed to the god Tecatlicopa. But they were discovered by the tribal priests. Just what are you going to do? Murderers?
What do you think?
You unscrupulous pig!
Flora, are you listening? I command you to come to me. Flora, you are to do as I command. Come here. You can hear the waves that are being sent out by that mummy, can you not? I know well that...
You devil. You stinking devil. Oh, I'd like to
chop your rotten flesh to pieces. It'd certainly be great to do so, but you know it's not possible now. We're going to make my experiment, so we must wait. Wait. When I got so much hate eaten down deep inside of my guts, you ain't got no idea what it is to live like this. Come on, we better go now. We'll be needing a lot of time if the plan I have is going to work out. Anything you say. Come, Flora. Now listen to me well, Flora. You'll go up to your room, and you'll go to sleep. And when you awaken, you'll act quite normally. And you won't recall a thing. Do you understand? You won't recall a thing. Now walk. Go on. Go on.
Well, good morning.
Good morning, sweetheart.
You must have been very tired. We were waiting down here to have breakfast with you. We could both eat a horse.
Bacon and eggs, like always?
Nothing for me, Maria. I have a terrible headache, dear.
What's that you've got on your gown?
It's all dirty. That's funny.
You've been down in the cellar.
No, sweetheart. I don't know.
But look at your slippers. They're all muddy.
Now, come on. What have you been up to?
Nothing. It's funny. These are new slippers. I just bought them. And now they're dirty.
I think you went out last night.
No. After I took my bath, I went to bed because I was tired.
Yes, but you got up later on, didn't you?
I did? No.
Yes, because I woke up a couple of times and you were not in bed.
No, you're mistaken, darling. I assure you I didn't leave my bed for a second.
You went out last night, honest, Mom.
Come on, let's forget the whole thing for now, all right? Remember, she has a great imagination. Tell me, has your headache passed?
No. I'm going to lie down for a while. Excuse me, please.
You children go out and have your breakfast.
Yes, Daddy.
Come on, Piquet, I want to talk to you.
Oh, boy, what a liar you are. You shut your big mouth. You're the liar.
Piquet, I'm very worried. This attitude that we've observed in Flora is not normal. What's more, I'm afraid that the bat has something to do with this.
Then you really think that child was telling the truth about it? And that her mother got up and went out?
Yes, it's quite probable.
But Flora insisted she didn't leave her bed for a second.
Because she can't recall anything. When she got up last night, she was sleeping.
I don't understand it. It seems impossible.
I'll tell you what I think. She was hypnotized and could be under post-hypnotic suggestion. So it seems to me that the bat controls her from a distance. It's logical. This strange attitude with Flora indicated that unscrupulous villain Krupp made her leave the house during the night.
But where did they go to?
Can't you guess what he's trying to do? You certainly know what he's after, the breastplate.
And besides that, the bracelet.
Precisely, Pinkate.
Then you think that she was made to go along with Krupp, and he wanted her to guide him to find the mummy.
Exactly, and you and I must go there. I'm going to find out if that scoundrel stole those objects.
But that'll be difficult. You can't investigate without any clues.
Yes.
Listen to me a second. Suppose we took her slippers to the laboratory to have that mud analyzed. That could help us, don't you think?
Yes, yes, that might just be the solution. We'll take them, but I don't think she should find out. We'd better do it all in secret. Come on.
Yes, no, I'm quite sure. It's embedded in the dirt. Of course, it's a small quantity, Doctor, but your suspicions are correct. They're pieces of marble.
You're sure it's marble?
Can you identify its source? Is it a special kind?
No, it isn't, but it's a fine quality. It might be a Carrara marble, I can say that. It's used in the construction of mausoleums, as far as I know.
Thank you.
This is the last cemetery. We've seen all the others. If we don't find anything here, we'd better forget about it.
Hello there.
Good evening. Tell me, are you the watchman here?
Yes, sir. Anything I can do for you?
Oh, yes. We'd like to ask you a few questions.
We'd like to know if you've seen anything strange the last few weeks or more recently. Anything very suspicious in or around the cemetery pertaining to one of the graves.
Are you from the police?
Yes, that's right, my friend, and we're after a very dangerous criminal whom we suspect has been hiding in one of the cemeteries around the city.
Well, the fact is, something pretty doggone curious did happen. Just 2 nights ago, I was surprised to run into a young woman here wearing a kind of white robe. She seemed to be asleep, and 2 men entered the grounds with her. And when I asked them who they were, one of the guys slugged me, and they left me out cold here on the ground.
Then we'll be taking a look around the grounds.
You can do anything you want. Anything you want.
You see, I was right. At last, we're on the trail.
Now, the tough part is yet to come, because we've got to walk around till we find the mummy.
Look, we'd better separate now. Go that way, Pinkate. I'll go over there. Go on.
Edward! Edward, come here!
What happened?
Look!
Come on. Look, the breastplate and the bracelet.
They didn't take it.
All this I've just told you occurred almost 5 years ago. We visited the crypt from time to time to take a look at the mummy, with its breastplate and its bracelet, too.
And the bat, is he still around?
You know, he disappeared from sight. Then, just a couple of days ago, we read an article that is very interesting. We were profoundly surprised by it. According to the article, a couple of nights before, a cadaver had been robbed from the amphitheater.
And the individual who did it was the bat, of course.
Yes. In the beginning, we had some doubts, since the man who had been attacked couldn't offer us a description of his assailants. But later on, our suspicions were confirmed. Yesterday, there was a burglary in the Radiology Institute. The thieves took a machine that uses radium. They also stole a brain out of a laboratory. This time, the police were able to identify the crooks as the Bat and all his band. As a matter of fact, they were almost captured.
Are there any good clues, Doctor?
Lead is the only metal capable of resisting radiation. Lead material in this city is handled by many wholesalers. After visiting the first 3 or 4... good morning, sir.
Good morning. What can I do for you, gentlemen?
We're sorry to be a bother to you, but is it just possible that lately you sent out a large shipment of lead? Could you give me that information?
In the last 2 days?
Or it could be a week, more or less.
Let me check. We keep a record of our shipments in this book. Yes, here it is. Exactly 5 days ago, we made delivery of 20 plates of lead shielding 4 inches in width to number 22 Shade Street.
Many thanks.
You're welcome.
After investigating for days, at last we got the address. I think that Bat had made his hideout there, or his laboratory.
Well, I don't see why this thieving Dr. Krupp would go to the effort of stealing radium, a complete human brain, and also the body of some man.
Do you recall that the Bat once told Flora that he was working on a new experiment? I think that is the explanation.
It's possible. But there's no doubt that Dr. Krupp and his criminals are planning to cause trouble.
Certainly, that's also my opinion. Now, I'll tell you why I called you here tonight, gentlemen, because you both are scientists, and you'll be able to combat the situation. Just in case we end up being murdered.
You mean to say you two are thinking of going there without taking the police along?
Yes, because you see, we're still not sure that that's the Bat's laboratory. And the police still don't have much faith in us because of what happened before. Flora, in case we're not back here at the house by 3 in the morning, I'm leaving it up to you to call the police.
Edward.
Freeze, you two.
Dr. Almada. What a pleasant surprise. Bruno? A souvenir of the mummy. The boss is going to be very happy to say hello to you two again. Come along. Boss! Look what I found out in front.
Dr. Almada and his shadow. This is a pleasant surprise, gentlemen. After such a long time, I come face to face with such good friends. Exactly where did you find them?
Out in the shop there, looking around.
I offer you my congratulations, because you are magnificent detectives. Did anyone else come with them?
Nobody else. I saw them when they drew up in the automobile, alone.
Bruno, aren't you going to attend our guests the way they deserve? Go fetch chairs for the gentlemen.
Sure, right away.
Tell me, how's your beautiful and charming wife, Dr. Almada? I learned about your marriage, and I admit it's a bit late to say it, but received my congratulations. And Pinky, how are you these days? Are you still the champion of right? There's no doubt about it, and I'm glad. Come over here. Who would have thought that you'd be here at the moment to witness this? Because you're about to see something that will astonish you, truly unbelievable. When you feast your eyes on this, I don't doubt that you'll be amazed, Doctor, and you'll be the first to congratulate me. Frankly, I'm happy that you came here to visit us, Dr. Almada. You're a man who is basically an intellectual, and that's why you'll be able to understand the greatness of my invention. I think you remember that time we met. Since then, I've worked day and night without resting for a minute. And during all that hectic time, I explored powers that no one else knows. All those great mysteries, the very basis of creation.
Then that means that you defy all the limits that were put down by God.
There are certain secrets that we could explore and discover rapidly. And that's why it's such a shame that fear impedes us so, Dr. Almada.
You're completely mad and ignorant also.
Don't you respect research at all? Don't you want to learn to know why a body functions? I do. And at last I found the cause. Take a look at this heart that's beating. It lives. It lives and pulsates because I gave it life. And if I can give life to inert material, why can't I give it to the bodies that are damned to death and decay? No one can possibly imagine how I worked. When I dug in the mud with these hands and entered tombs, I tortured many animals with pleasure to find the answers to man's existence.
You're insane, do you know?
I decided to create a man. A breathing body, a real man. And I have made that dream come true. There you have the greatest creation of man's intelligence. A human robot, Doctor. Tonight I'm going to find out. Tonight I'm going to put it to the supreme test. I'll activate the creature.
But this is monstrous, Doctor.
If it lives, then my triumph will be complete, Dr. Almada. Because I'll get the treasure, and I'll be rich. This thing I created has enormous power, and you'll watch it. Now then, life for the robot. Doctor, watch this.
.30 already.
Don't you think it would be better to call the police now?
I don't know what to do.
No. Let's all wait till 3 a.m. and respect the doctor's wishes.
Suppose they're in danger.
Oh, this is great, Doctor! The greatest invention! You can see it standing there. A marvelous machine, a tribute to the great intelligence of man. A human robot. With this shining creature, no human being on this earth can oppose me. Do you understand? Do you know what could have happened to you right now? Had I not diminished the electric force, the current that makes him move, and that is contained in this apparatus? With the slightest twist of this dial, you two would have been converted into atomic dust instantaneously. Because the robot utilizes radium and has sufficient power to disintegrate anything in the world. Tonight, it meets the mummy. Bruno, prepare the special plates. The lead will shield my truck. Hurry, time is flying. Tonight, my robot has to make a visit, you know. In a certain cemetery. What time is it? 10 minutes to 3. I told you there's no time to lose, Bruno. Hurry, get going!
I want the police. It's urgent. Headquarters, I want to talk to the chief of police.
I want you to stop and think about this. A new kind of world. An army of robots obeying me. The human species. Sheep obeying my orders. A new theory that man has not dared imagine. I'll make some more. Maybe 1,000. Now that I know how, the rest is easy. But for that, I need money. That treasure of the Aztecs. That's why tonight the mummy will give me what I want.
Boss, it's all set.
Fine. You two will stay here and guard our distinguished friends. They mustn't get away. They're an extremely important cog in my plan. I'm sorry that I can't take you along, but you'd only get underfoot. But I'll return, gentlemen, to inform you that I could destroy the mummy. And with the gold breastplate and bracelet in my hands, you'll begin once more to translate the hieroglyphics. This time you're helpless because no one knows you're here. Dr. Almada.
Let's hurry. I'm afraid for their lives.
Come on, get him! Come on, let's go! Come on! Watch it! Come on, get it! Give me that gun! Come on!
Flora.
What happened here?
Chief, you can arrest those 2 men there in the other room.
Come on.
Dr. the Bat has gone to the tomb where the mummy is. Let's hurry. There's no time to lose.
What's that?
Hurry, Bruno. Take the breastplate and bracelet off of him.
Yes.
At last, you devil. At last, I'm going to have my revenge.
Popoca, in memory of the great love that once existed between us, stop all this death and destruction. Take these objects that are yours to guard and go back to the grave of our ancestors, where we should never have interrupted your eternal sleep.